Rolling.
Let's do it up.
Rolling. Cool. And guys, we're back. We're here, and we've got a guest here today.
Hello.
Hello. This is Marco from Amongst the Giants. Everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I guess no one could wave back, but
It's the people. It's the people behind the camera. They're all
it's Josh behind the
right
camera
now.
and everybody behind. He's just laughing there. It's great, but dude, it's been a minute since I last saw you.
Yeah. Was that Uprise about a month and a half ago? Have you been? How long have you been shooting Uprise?
This was my first year.
Oh, it was your first year doing it. Okay,
year,
cool.
So I reached out to Uprise actually about like the start of the year. I'm like reaching out to all these Christian festivals to be like, hey, can I be a part of like a media team or something like that? And somehow I don't know if you know the organizers of Uprise, Scott, by chance?
I know. Yeah. Scotty.
Yeah,
Bubba.
Scotty.
Bubba.
Yeah, Bubba. So I reached out and he got back to me like instantly. He's like, dude, love your work. We don't pay and everything for photographers and that, but love your work. Would love to have you out. And I'm like, wow. And then dude actually brought me
That's cool,
out,
man.
And I got to actually shoot the festival. Got to shoot you guys.
They flew you out and
They
stuff?
flew me out.
Wow,
that was
that's
my,
awesome.
in a sense,
Dope.
payment. Was
Dope.
like, flown out, got the hotel. And
No,
everything.
that's awesome.
Which was cool. So I wanted to actually see you guys for like years, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like my first actual time. I'm like, wow, no joke, I did not think I would ever get to see you guys live.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because why would you guys come out to Canada?
Actually, I guess I can't say this. We actually have something that we're coming here for next year.
Okay.
We haven't announced it yet.
All I heard was from, I think, Brian. It's Brian, right?
Brian.
Brian, he mentioned to me that you guys are coming to Canada. I don't
Oh,
know.
he did? Okay.
He mentioned to me. He didn't
go.
tell me. He didn't say it was confirmed yet, though.
Yeah,
So,
it's not like...
yeah.
It seems like it's going to happen.
Okay,
You know?
cool. Well, that's why I say you guys should tour across Canada.
We would love to. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, getting up that far, it's like it had to make sense.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, that's the thing. You're already coming here. Why not route it to?
We would love that. It's just, just a lot of things have to kind of fall in place. You know, you gotta, because I think like we'd be flying up. We need to get a vehicle. We need to, like all that stuff and that.
All
stuff
the logistics.
Very expensive for a very
yeah.
tiny band.
Well, yeah,
you
guys are from Florida.
Yeah,
So
he still lives in Florida. I live in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
You know, so, typically, like, he, if it's for, like, a one-off, he'll fly up to me and we'll go off wherever, you know. But if it's, like, a long tour, we have an RV down there that we bring up.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to bring, I don't think we bring that.
Come on, it's an RV.
South Florida all the way up, dude, that would be, oh, my gosh. That would be so hard.
How much would you, like... Well, gas would be expensive.
I don't even want to think about it. Dude. Like that would.
What was the longest like tour you've ever done, Marco?
Ever? This one's pretty long. This one's about the one that I'm on right now is about a 2-month stretch. The longest I've probably been out straight without being home is probably about 2.5, 3 months. So yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you've been.
I try not to do that too often because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't like. Do you like touring?
I love touring. It's just one of those things that like having breaks in between. I think is very, very important, especially when you've been doing it now.
Right.
I've been touring now almost 10 years. So it's been about 9 or so.
Of course, you're not with Amongst the Giants right now. So who are you touring with?
I'm currently touring with a guy named Kurt Deimer. We're opening up for Sebastian Bach.
Cool.
You may know him as the singer for Skid Row.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah. That's he's not with them anymore, but like that's what he's most known for. And it's been a fantastic tour. Damn. It's been really, really great. It's really this tour in particular has been has been a first for me. It's the first time I've actually had an extended tour outside of the U.S. You know, so like I've always had like one-offs out of the country, you know, and not usually a full tour. So. It's been cool. Even, you know, like Canada has been gorgeous. You know, it's my first time here ever. So, we started off in Vancouver and we're just making our way east.
Your way all the way. How far Canada are you doing? Are you doing Toronto in that?
Yeah, we're going all the way to Toronto, Quebec
Nice.
City.
Okay.
And then after Quebec, we're basically going back to the States, and then we have like another 3-ish weeks in the States.
Okay.
And then the tour ends, I believe, November 20th.
Ooh, okay. So you might hit snow.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, you're gonna
I'm sure we will. Yeah, I'm sure. You know, we saw the light. I saw the lights the other day.
Oh, you did?
Very, very random.
Nice.
I was up at like 4 a.m. I was just watching TV in the front lounge. We were in transit. I think we were driving from Kelowna to somewhere else. I forgot where we were going.
Yeah.
And to Calgary. That's where we were going. On the way to Calgary, and it was like 4 a.m. and I guess we were kind of like in between, and it was very, very dark, no light pollution outside, and my bus driver was like, "Hey, come outside." I was like, "Oh, I think I know what this is," because I'm like a lights enthusiast. Like I've always wanted to see the lights, and that was the first time I got to see them, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, wow, this is incredible." It was just like a chance thing. I figure you guys see them sometimes here,
dude. We see them quite often, right?
Okay,
Josh?
I figure you do.
We do. Like it's an ongoing thing in winter. Like if you just go up a little bit north, you'll see lights.
Oh my gosh,
just
dude.
a little bit of like countryside, like. You just have to go outside the city in maybe like 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Man.
Winter, you're going to see them like quite often.
Dude, I have an app that tells me. Yeah. I have an app because like it's just like that was like a bucket list thing for me, and I saw and it was gorgeous. Like, but I could tell that it wasn't like the best it could be. I could just see it was like the sky was breathing. It was really, really cool. I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy."
What colors were?
It wasn't like a lot of crazy colors.
Oh, really?
I saw like some greens and some purples, but it wasn't like super. Like I got some pictures. They're not great pictures, but it's enough for my memories.
Oh.
But yeah, like I was like, "Oh, hopefully I'll see them again while I'm here." I think there's a chance. I think there's a shot.
Yeah, it's been more ongoing than usual. Actually, like you don't typically see Northern Lights. Like we had it actually in summertime a few times. I think, right, Josh?
Cool,
Didn't we have it in summer? Yeah, we had it a few times. It's been a weird year for this actually.
That's like my thing, man. Yeah. I love that.
Do they not come in Nashville?
No.
Wait, no.
No.
Okay, never mind.
No, the States, it's very rare.
Okay.
There were some people seeing them in like Mississippi, which is rare. Like that, and it was like some crazy geostorm, and that was the last few days. My friend who lives in Jersey saw them, and it was gorgeous. And he's like, "I've never seen this. It like never goes that far south ever."
I thought it would, honestly, with maybe I'm just
in the States. Really, the only place you can. I mean. The northernmost states, maybe.
Yeah, like Minnesota and that.
Yeah, but like,
like us,
unless you're going to like Alaska or something, like you won't really see them.
Are you doing any tours in Alaska?
I did one show in Alaska with Disciple. Yeah, a few years ago.
Nice. How was that?
It was awesome,
dude.
The lights were there, but I couldn't see them because it was cloudy. So I was there for a few days. I was pretty bummed. I was pretty bummed, but it was gorgeous. No, Alaska was cool. We just played a show in Anchorage.
Cool.
Like there's not a whole lot of places to play in Alaska. There's basically Anchorage and what is it, Fairbanks? I think
maybe. I'm not educated on Alaska.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of places to play in Alaska. Okay. So
there's like one city, one town.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Dang. So you're touring with Sebastian, right? So
yeah.
How did I ask you how do you land this week?
Oh, that's right. I guess we went on it.
Yeah, we went off on a tangent.
That's
good. That's fine.
Yeah. Basically, so the gig, the guy I'm playing for is a guy named Kurt Dimer. He's a cool dude. Yeah. I like him a lot. It's kind of like a hire on situation, like it's something that kind of came about because it's like how a lot of things happen in touring. It's like you just kind of it's a friend of a friend, someone who knows you you know what I mean, like. Someone who knows you, basically, So it was one of those situations. Okay. Someone put my name in for this, and I'm very, very thankful for it.
Nice.
Typically when you're touring for a long time, you meet a lot of people inevitably that way, So, and if you're not a jerk, you treat people nicely, like you have a good work ethic, and you're decently talented enough, or good enough to play professionally, like. Typically, that's a recipe for people to, ask you to, go out and do different things. I'm not saying I'm all those things, but what I'm saying is like, hopefully that's what I try to be, So
I feel like anybody in the touring industry should be like that. Like you have to be you should be a decent person, human being, right?
There's that, yeah, of course, but like aside from just being that way because it's right, it's also in your best interest. You know what I mean? It's like I've seen plenty of people come and go because of cruddy attitudes. I've seen plenty of people come and go because they just didn't feel like working hard enough at their craft, or not willing to sacrifice certain things. And at the end of the day, it's really just comes down to how much you want it.
Right.
You know, like talent kind of you hear this all the time. Like talent kind of gets you through the door, but it's it's your character that kind of keeps you there. You know.
Somewhat.
And it's not about being perfect. Everyone's gonna make mistakes. Everyone's gonna do. You know, it's not about that at all. You know, it's just try to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Try to, you know what I mean? Try to work hard.
Yeah.
You know?
I was just thinking everybody make those mistakes.
Oh, yeah. You got,
I was going to make the joke of the song from Miley Cyrus.
Oh, that's an old one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an OG. That's OG.
Yeah. Did you watch Miley Cyrus or Hannah Montana?
Oh, yeah. That was like my era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you, Marco?
I'm 29.
Oh, you don't look 29, man.
Oh, what do I look? Do I look younger?
Yeah, you look younger, man.
It's because I can't grow facial hair, and I have long hair. Yeah, I know. I've gotten it before.
But you got the tattoos. That's why I'm like, okay, maybe mid-20s, but then I'm like, oh.
No, yeah. This is my last year of my 20s. Turning 30 next year, and, I'm actually pretty excited about it, I'm not going to lie.
Okay. That's good.
Like, I was worried about it at first because everyone's, like, scared of aging, myself included, but I think, like, as I'm getting older, like, I'm getting happier, more content, and more like what's the word? Like confident in my own skin and stuff, So I'd say like 30 is gonna be fine. That's good. Like and I'm proud of proud of what I've been able to do in my 20s so far.
That's good.
And I just want to keep kind of going.
Because when did you start doing music then?
I mean, I started playing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like preteen. I started playing guitar when I was 12. So that's when I started.
Yeah.
And I kind of sang when I was a kid. But then, like, people made fun of me, and I stopped singing for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had, like, a really weird high voice when I was a kid, and, like, people kind of make fun of me for it. And it wasn't good, and it wasn't very good either. So, like, I had to kind of claw at that for a while because my voice sucked for a very long time.
Did you have to get vocal lessons?
No, I didn't.
Wait, what?
No, I didn't. I had. Well, don't get me wrong. Like, I had a lot of people around me who were very good and, like, kind of like help build me up, and I pick their brain, and surrounded by people who can really sing, your things are going to rub off on you for sure.
Right.
But as far as formal lessons for voice, no. I took formal lessons for guitar.
Okay.
And drums, but not for voice.
Wow. And you sit in Amongst the Giants.
I do.
It's really good.
Thanks,
so I'm
man.
like, how are you? That's great that you didn't have to learn then.
I had to. Well, I mean, like, dude, if I showed you some of the early stuff, it was garbage. Like even on the first record, like my vocals, like it's funny because I was just listening to like some of the old stems of our. So I was like, oh my gosh, I sound like such a baby. And it wasn't even that long ago. It was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You guys dropped it?
Yeah. So like my scream was different. Everything about my voice just felt so different. I was still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like because I had pretty much just sang worship music up to that point, mainly because like growing up in church.
Yeah.
I always listened to metal, always played metal, but I never like explored like the metal rock and roll part of my voice until a bit later, maybe. And like. It was just like it was different. It was bad, honestly. Like I'm proud of the first record, but I listened back to the stems. I was like, ooh, I'm not a huge fan of the way I performed some of those takes.
Yeah. Was there like any like tracks that you wish that you didn't make off that first record?
Like I didn't like we didn't release.
Well, you wish that you didn't make because of like your voice that you're like.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I would say I do kind of wish, and this is the first time I'm probably saying this, is like, I do wish we held off on a full-length record.
Yeah.
I wish we started with an EP.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah. As proud as I am of that first record, I'm extraordinarily proud of it. We put a lot of work into it, and my producer at the Jeremy Holderfield, we worked tirelessly on those parts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really proud of it, musically especially.
Right.
Because like that was sort of like we're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm proud of how it came out. Especially the writing. But I do wish like we spent more time rolling things out because I just feel like inevitably, especially with a new band, when you have a full length record, the back half of the record kind of gets thrown by the wayside because nobody really listens to full lengths anymore unless they're like from your favorite band, right? So
Listen, I have a lot of favorite bands, and I like a lot of.
I get
I'm
it. No, I agree.
That likes records.
No, I agree, and I do too.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately the way music is being consumed
society,
now.
Yeah.
It's just changing, right?
Yeah.
So you're always grasping for somebody's attention. So why would you throw 10 to 12 tracks all at once when you could
scatter them out?
When you can scatter them out, put more content behind it. So that's kind of the way I think about it right now. That's why that's why the second release was an EP, because we're like, we don't want to. And even dropping 6 songs at once might have been too much. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm extraordinarily proud of that EP.
It was a really good EP.
We did I think Kellen did a fantastic job. I think we really, really worked.
You knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Kellen from a band called Memphis Mayfire wrote, produced, and mixed that record.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's incredible. Good friend, and like I was just talking to him about it recently. Actually, like he was like, "Man, that was a really good record." I was like, "Dude, I know." Like we kind of, it's one of those things. Like it's not about like, oh, nobody heard it. People did hear it. Yeah. It's not that. It's just like you kind of. It's like, man, you want more. Yeah, it's like, man, I wish. Like certain things happened a different way, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like the songs I think are great. Yeah. I'm very, very proud of it. I'm proud that, like it's a representation of us, of me, of Brian. Really, I mean, the only band members are me and Brian, so like it's very representative of us. And we went into a little bit of a different direction on that second record anyway, on purpose. Yeah. That's why like the music is probably a little bit less complicated than the first record.
Okay.
Wanted it to be a little bit more vocally driven.
That makes sense. Yeah, looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, that one was more harder compared to the EP.
It was more. The first one was more techy, I would say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. It was like basically like I wrote a lot of those songs when I was in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like we wrote a lot of those parts and all that stuff in our early 20s. So like it was basically like all the ideas we had through. Late teenage years to early 20s, and we put it all on a record and threw it all at once.
Was Amongst the Giants your first band then?
No,
okay.
No. I've been like, I've played in bands throughout high school, but like my first touring band was a different band that doesn't exist anymore. The way that all this happened was that one tour. I was 18 years old. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was fresh out of high school, nice. And we went on tour with Seventh Day Slumber, and Jeremy. That's how I met Jeremy. Okay. Jeremy Holderfield. I would not be touring if it wasn't for that man.
Yeah, I got to see Seventh Day Slumber first time like a couple years. Actually, back they actually toured here, like maybe 2
Canada?
or 3. Yeah,
oh wow.
They came here and went back. You probably mentioned to him, like literally got to see them, and then Maggie. If you know Maggie,
dope,
so that was
dope.
their first time in Canada. I'm like, oh. Cool.
Yeah, like the Seventh Day Slumber that I knew and the Seventh Day Slumber that I met was Jeremy. Jeremy was their guitar player, and him and I like after that first tour just kind of kept in touch. Yeah. And I wouldn't. He put my name in for a lot of stuff. Oh, really? I owe a lot to that man.
Nice.
100%. I still consider him a good friend.
That's good.
He. Like I said, he produced our first record, put us through the ringer, and I love that guy. I would not be here without that.
Wow.
Period. I owe a lot to him.
Nice. Shout out to Jeremy.
Shout out to Jeremy Holderfield. I hope he sees this.
Yeah, I think so. We'll get in the ringer.
I'll probably send it to him, it'll make him smile. Yeah. I hope.
Speaking of a friend, someone asked if you know Weston.
Of course, I know Weston.
Yeah, you know Weston. He wants to know if you're his friend.
Of course, I'm your friend, Weston. I miss you a lot. I want you to play in my band. Oh, is what I want.
This is a call out then.
Yeah, we're buddies. Like he's Weston's the man. I love him.
Also, he asked, does Sonic go fast?
Sonic goes very fast. I hope he does. I'm really stoked for that movie that's coming out.
Oh, that's the meaning behind that. Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, yeah. The third Sonic. That's like our thing. Yeah, okay. It's like it's great.
Nice. I love that first.
So if you don't know, Weston was the guitar player for Seventh Day Slumber. Yeah. That's the person who asked that question.
Yeah. Well, probably people don't know that, but yeah.
Yeah. No, he's my homie. We've been friends for a very long time. I think very highly of him as a musician.
Nice. Yeah. Who's probably the most people that influenced you as a musician?
Oh man,
the last couple years.
Ooh, well, I mean, growing up, I know you said the last couple of years, but it's a cumulative effect. Yeah. So I would say like growing up, like I remember, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like my first rock band that I saw that like kind of changed my I wouldn't say changed my life, but like turned me on to like any kind of like live heavy music was probably Skillet.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I didn't really continue listening to them after pretty much the Comatose record.
Yeah.
Not that it's not great; it's all great. You know, just I progressively got heavier and heavier. So there's a journey here. Basically, like I saw them at Rock the Universe in Orlando when I was like 11 or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is heavy. To me, it was heavy at the time.
But at that time.
Yeah, at the time. And then that kind of progressed. You know, I started listening to Disturbed. I started listening to some older, like Metallica, Pantera and stuff. I was like, oh, this is really, really cool. I got Guitar Hero, and I remember hearing, like, all the music there. I was like, this is dope, you know? And I was, like, really into the game. And then finally I was like, I think I want to learn how to play guitar, you know? And then I started taking lessons when I was 12. And I was listening to a lot of different people. I was introduced to Avenged Sevenfold, and that was a game changer for me. Avenged Sevenfold was a big deal for me. Still is. That's one of my favorite bands. I think they're incredible. Bullet for My Valentine. And then finally I was introduced to metalcore through August Burns Red, and that was sort of the tipping point for me.
How old were you when you found August Burns Red?
14.
14? Okay.
I was 14.
Nice.
And I remember watching the Composure music video, and I was like, "Whoa, this is like no singing." And at first, I didn't know if I liked it.
Oh, really?
You know, at first I was like, "No singing, I don't know about that." You know, and then finally, I was like, "Oh no, this is dope. No, this is really, really cool." And then I saw them. You know, I remember I saw the Homesick tour with them. It was A Day to Remember, and August Burns Red was direct support, and Shikari and some local opener. I forgot. And life changing. I was like, this is what I wanted, you know, like I was like, I can do this. I know I can do this, you know, like, so that's kind of like
the tipping point.
Yeah. It was like cumulative, you know, and I was introduced to even more progressive music, like Between the Buried and Me, and like, you know, Protest the Hero, and like, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really, really good. Gojira, I've gotten into more Gojira lately, you know, but like, hearing all these bands, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. You know, this is really, really good. But I also like really strong melodies, you know, and I really like strong choruses and stuff like that. I like hooks. I like song structure
to a degree.
Half the time, usually. I like it when I like it when the song's really good.
Yeah.
You know, like, but yeah, Memphis Mayfire was another one. Okay. You know, like I remember seeing them at Warped Tour 2013. I was a senior in high school. And yep,
and they're coming back.
Oh yeah, I hope. They've been saying that for years. I know they just announced a few shows, but it's like, is it back? Let's see. You know what I mean? I'd like, give me more shows first.
Yeah,
you know?
A lot of people are complaining. There's not more shows. The price of it. There's.
You can I kind of guess that the price would probably go up. You know, as we're just living in different times. Yeah. I remember I saw Metallica for like $120 something general admission, like back in 2018 or something like that. And that's psycho now. You can't get anything close to that.
I just bought Evanescence coming here next week. I bought 110, 112
really?
Pit.
That's incredible, actually.
Actually, like their concert tickets were actually decent. Like
that's
70, 60 bucks around 200.
Maybe people are. I guess.
It depends on the. I guess the promoter.
Yeah, it depends on the location too. You know. Yeah. But I think people are. You know, I think they're getting the hint. Where like, you know, ticket sales might, depending on certain tours, are just kind of taking hits, and they're like, you know, maybe we shouldn't be charging this much. You know, because some of them were getting ridiculous. I remember I tried to buy like Under Oath tickets or like Sleep Token tickets, and they were like crazy expensive. I'm like, what's going on? And it's not every venue. Nope. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't attribute it. It's not the bands. No. At least I don't think it is. I don't know how it goes that high up. You know what I mean?
It depends. Like it's an ongoing issue I've heard in the music scene. Like there's certain bands that have actually overcharged that I've heard. Who was it I was talking to? Ooh, there was a metal band. Which metal band am I thinking of? Maybe it was Sleep Token, actually. Like people were like kind of freaking out about the Sleep Token.
No, yeah, I remember seeing the Sleep Token tickets. I was like, "What? Are you serious?" And then it just there's a lot of variation too, you know. And I love Sleep Token. I love all that stuff, but like I think like just because like inflation has kind of hit everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't have to hit everything, maybe, like at least that hard, like
slowly but surely.
Like it's just silly, you know what I mean? Like I refuse, like for a band that I really like, I refuse to pay anything more than like top dollar, like maybe $125, $150 for a ticket. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
I don't care how much I like the band.
Yeah.
I just like I'll see him another time.
Yeah. The only bands I will out of my way will pay like somewhat decent would be Nickelback and Breaking Benjamin.
No, well, yeah. Those are good choices. Because like at the top level like that, you're kind of gonna have
to pay top dollar.
Yeah, it's gonna be top dollar compared to like going to like a local venue, or not even a local venue, like going to your like a concert venue that like a lot of touring bands go to. Like those they're usually comparable prices, where it's like, okay, yeah, that's not bad.
Not bad.
You know what I mean? I'm sure making, hopefully everyone's, because everyone's got to make money. Everyone's got to make a living. So it's not about like, no, you're not allowed to make money. It's just like, hey man, like.
Then you get into like what is it, merch cuts and all that.
Oh, don't even get me started, dude. Don't even get me started.
Hey,
like,
we could get into that rabbit hole.
Man, oh man, dude. Like, listen, it's hard because like a lot of them, like a lot of the time, I understand, you know what I mean, but there are some splits and some cuts where I'm just like, you're like triple dipping. I'm like confused. Well, it depends on it really depends on that is very venue individual.
Okay.
Like it's not every, but there's some where it's like,
yeah,
really, here you're asking for a 35% merch cut for here, really?
Don't get me started. There's a couple venues here that are even locally.
That's psychotic, man.
Dude, it's brutal. Well,
That's
I'm not going to call up
psychotic.
venues, but like guys work on your merch cuts and everything.
Yeah,
bring
dude.
them down or just I don't know.
It's hard, man, because like listen, if you're getting paid really nicely on the front end, you're getting a really nice guarantee. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make some money on the back end. That's fine. But. Bro, like I've seen somewhere I was like that's outrageous. Like are you for it's like robbery, especially for touring bands, cuz like at the end of the day, even bands that are like mid-level, like
I've heard
they're not getting rich out here.
They're
still
struggling mid.
They're not getting rich out here, man. You know what I mean? They're it's very much a grind, and it only gets harder.
Yeah.
If the economy takes a hit, everyone takes a hit, including us. Especially the performance industry takes a very big hit, because that's like the first thing that people stop going to typically, right? Like I would imagine.
Yeah.
When things get hard, it's like, oh, it's too expensive. I don't know. Like, it's not like people are, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're not essential workers, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. So, and that's fine. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's like after a certain point, it's like, hey man, like, you want us to come out. It's like it needs to make sense. You know what I mean? Like people like to tell us, hey man, come here. It's like we would love to. We would always want to be going out, but it's like it has to kill us to get there.
Kill you logistically, financially, just in general, everything aspect. That's why I get the logistics back end because I got to work on that from tour and everything and see how that works. But like, if you at least feed yourself and get here, then
big time. Yeah. And it's honestly, it's not even that much, it's like a lot of people will be like, yeah, I'll take that. A lot of people are like, as long as like I'm good and not like dying out here, cool. Like, because at the end of the day, we all want to play music and we all want to tour, so we'd rather be doing that than sitting at home. So it's just like, there's always a way, you know what I mean? That's why booking agents and things like that, like, are like incredible, like they're the ones who negotiate on bands' behalves, assuming they have one. We don't have one. Okay. Jeremy helps us book sometimes. Jeremy's again, another thing for Jeremy. Jeremy actually got us the Uprise gig this year. Way. Yeah, I've played Uprise for the last 4 or 5 years, but not with Giants.
Not with
Giants. Yeah. I was playing with Disciple usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, we'll give you this amount to get you here, and it's like, and at first it sounds like a lot of money, and then it's like, all that goes away very, very quickly. Like it all gets eaten up.
Yeah, back in logistics and everything with agents, booking people. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and then the booking agent has to take a cut too. So it's like all that stuff. Like all that stuff is It's all important, you know. Like it all works in conjunction with each other, you know. So
everything costs money, you know.
Everything costs money, you know. Like so when bands, you know, are like, "Hey, come buy stuff from our merch table."
Buy
yes,
it. Please. They need every little single
If you
dollar.
really care about a band, that's the most you can do. Like streaming is great, you know, obviously, you know, but everyone knows how
streaming is.
Little money people make from streaming, you know what I mean? So really the best way you can support a band is by buying merchandise or, you know, or buying their records, you know.
Or check out their local merch store if they have one.
Exactly.
Online and that.
Online, exactly, you know. Like that's the way most of us make our money.
Yeah.
So
cool. I didn't ask you. Are you taking a van or is it a bus tour? How's
this
it
is
like
this is a bus tour.
This is a bus tour.
This is a bus tour. It's not my gig. It's not. You know. It's not my. I'm a band member.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not like my band. Like,
yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's his.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was wondering if it was like a bus tour, van tour. Yeah.
No. This is a bus tour. This is a bus tour.
How's the bus?
You know, it's great.
That's
it's
good.
super fun. You know, like I actually really like van tours, which is funny.
Yeah.
You know, I've done plenty of those too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think you have to. You know, build some character. You know, but like as far as like, you know, like bus tours go, they're super cool and they're fun. Like don't get me wrong, you know, but there's something about the freedom of driving your own vehicle. You know what I mean? There's something about it. But that quickly gets old about a month into a long tour, you know, where they're like crazy long drives.
Even
stuff,
like a
know?
week or two, like if the band is just like all not sleeping or anything, then it gets to the degree.
Yeah.
That's what happened with us where it was my first tour. It was a van tour. I'm like, okay, everyone's cranky. Everyone's like, okay, we're taking shifts and everything.
That's the hard part, you know, like you got to, because you're dealing with you're dealing with personalities, you're dealing with new people, with other people, you know, so you always want to kind of you kind of want to like be considerate of that, even on a bus. You know what I mean? That's the same thing on a bus. Don't get me wrong. Like bus tours are a lot more convenient and I guess luxurious. But
yes, yeah.
If you have 10 plus people on a bus, it's still cramped. You know what I mean? It's still cramped. And I'm not here complaining. No, I'm not complaining. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't want to do it. You know, but it's, you know, finding personal space on tour is hard for almost anybody. Yeah. You know, so
that's a thing from a lot of people I've heard. Like it can be spacious, but to a degree, do you want that spaciousness?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we went through a lot actually. So yeah, you're from Florida. How's the music scene and local talent actually?
I don't know anymore.
Because you're from Nashville now.
You know, I grew up and the local scene was dope. A lot of it was metal, deathcore growing up. You know, a lot of the venues, at least the local venues that were in South Florida, don't really exist anymore.
Oh, really?
Which kind of bums me out. Yeah. You know, it's like supporting the local. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, support your local music scene." I'm gonna be honest with you. I was never really part of a local music scene.
Oh, really?
I just never. Yeah, it's like I was in local bands, but I never really felt like I was. You know, it was kind of like. You never kind of felt in, you know what I mean? Like I was playing drums in a punk band when I was in college, and that was probably the closest I ever got to being in a local scene, you know. And it was a fun time. Don't get me wrong, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, we're essentially out here just, you know, playing shows, having some fun. You know, it's, you know, that's really what it is, you know. And you cut your teeth on that for sure, you know. But as far as like the South Florida scene, like. Unless like the venues like the Culture Room, Revolution Live, or something like that, there's not a whole lot of, you know, spots for local bands to play down there. Yeah. Maybe there is now, but when I was there, when I was leaving, there wasn't.
That's crazy.
So, about 3 years ago.
That sucks. That kind of sucks.
Bums me out. You know? Like because there's a lot of rich history down there. Yeah. You know, so Nashville is a completely different beast because there's a show there. You can throw a rock and you'll find a show, you know. That's kind of the hard part about playing in Nashville because like
how do you get seen even in Nashville? That's
you
the
don't.
Hard part.
You don't, you know, like you gig out in Nashville, you want to play Broadway, you know, maybe get some free drinks, make some money on the side a little bit or something like that, but like and they're incredible musicians too, you know. And I don't really know anyone in that scene either, you know. I don't play in Nashville very often at all. You know, I played like 3 shows in Nashville.
Your whole entire life?
Yeah, pretty much. And I've lived there for 3 years. I played Bridgestone when I did Winter Jam a few years ago. I played the Ryman earlier this year. And I think another venue. I forgot the name of the venue. But that's about it. Dang. Like, I haven't played any. Yeah. You know, like, well, there's Exit In. I haven't played there. There's a couple cool. There's a couple cool spots. Yeah. Like, there's no lack of cool venues there. It's just there's so many shows happening. You like, whenever you see a show in Nashville, like you see like a band have like, you know, like the list of
places,
dates,
yeah,
and they're all sold out. Nashville's never sold out. It's just it's very, very hard to get a big get like a full turnout in Nashville because there's just so many shows happening.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense.
It's actually cool for me because then I usually don't have to worry about shows selling out that I want to go to when I'm in Nashville. You know what I mean? And there's some great venues like Marathon Music Works. That's like where a lot of the big bands, like bigger metal rock acts, go to.
Yeah.
You know, I saw August Burns Red there a few times. Saw Whitechapel there. You know, and it was dope.
Yeah, love Whitechapel. Really nice guys, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. You know, like, no, Whitechapel's awesome. I saw the tour I went to was the Valley. They were playing the Valley all the way through, and it was dope.
Oh, you lucky bugger!
It was awesome.
When did I see them? I saw them recently. Who was it? It was with Meshuggah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
That Meshuggah tour, and then there was one
awesome.
before that. I got to see them. This was right around the time when I went to TwitchCon just beforehand, and they were with Bullet for My Valentine. No, not Bullet. It was with Trivium.
Wow, cool.
Trivium, so that was a good one. That was my first time seeing Phil's vocals.
Yeah, he's incredible,
dude.
He's incredible. He's like a huge inspiration to me and Brian.
Yeah,
like he's awesome,
dude. It's like I've never got chills or got shocked from a vocalist in person until like seeing Phil live, and also the guys from Wolves at the Gate.
No, good guys.
Well, yeah, Wolves at the Gate, and also who was it? Convictions at Uprise.
Oh yeah.
That's who I was mentioning because I'm like, oh, Convictions. I don't know. Do you know which band was it? It was Slaughter to Prevail.
Yeah.
Who's this?
I forgot the guy's name, but I know who you're talking about. Alex Terrible.
Alex sounds like the guy from Convictions.
Oh, really?
Dude, like when I heard it, because I got to see Slaughter here like recently, like the last year or two.
Yeah,
wow.
Mike's got great vocals.
Mike has like similar vocals, like screams wise to Alex. I think.
Yeah, he's got a beefy scream. He's really good. I saw him fill in for August Burns Red. That was really funny. Yeah, he did a few shows with them.
No way. Did you tour with them at that time?
Me? No.
No.
Me,
okay.
no. I was just going to see August Burns Red, and he just happened to be filling in.
Nice.
It was a good time.
That's a good time. Yeah. Cool. So does your family support the music journey?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's a pastor. My mom's a therapist. You know, like, basically, from a young age, I knew what I wanted to do, and they bought me my first guitar. You know, all my gear. I had all of the support in the world. Yeah. You know, so I have no complaints there for sure. You know, they're great. They're great.
Nice. So you grew up in the Christian music. Everything from your family.
I guess, yeah. I grew up in church, but like as far as like the music scene, it was more just kind of like at that time, like half the bands were Christian. You know what I mean? Like it was like the Tooth and Nail Solid State era, anyway. And then half of them didn't really, and then weren't after for a while. You know, so as far as I'm concerned, like I don't really care about that as much. You know, I just care. I really just like, you know, if it's the music that I really like, I'm gonna listen to it. You know, so. I have my beliefs and I have my views, of course, you know, like, and I have my, you know, and of course I believe. It's just the older I get, the less I care about the label and the less I care about like being perceived as such, I guess, you know, like people can, it was like same thing when people ask me for Giants, like, you know, like, cause we don't write about God a whole lot, you know, like we mention it, you know, but it's not something like,
you're getting more towards like,
I'm writing.
Mention,
I'm writing more about my personal experiences.
Okay,
you know what I mean, like and my stuff. You know, so and a lot of the times the lens comes across. You know, like there's faith that comes through there. You know, there's God. There's a lot of different things that, you know, a lot of like subjects that are kind of touched on. But listen, here's the thing. Like at the end of the day, I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, like a few days ago. Like. At the end of the day, man, like, I don't want to be taking myself too seriously.
Right.
I think, like, music at the end of the day is entertainment. It's fun, like it can be inspirational. It can, it can elicit things. And when it does, it's very special. And of course it's done that for me, but not everything that I do say, play needs to be some profound statement on such and such. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? It's like I come from a place of like my whole life. I've taken so many things like seriously, and I'm not saying you don't take like your craft seriously. I'm not talking about that. It's just like, hey man, at the end of the day, like I'm just a performer, dude. Yeah, you know what I mean? I love to perform. I love to play music. You know what I mean? I have my views. People want to hear them. They can ask me. I'm not gonna go up there,
shut them down and everything.
Yeah. Like if I feel very strongly about something, I'll say something for sure. Like if I feel like some kind of injustice, sure, you know what I mean. But like at the end of the day, I try not to take ourselves too seriously. You know what I mean? Like we touch on serious topics. Don't get me wrong, but at the end, like I want people to see me, and I want people to know, like, hey, you're getting everything I'm giving you right now.
Exactly.
I am not some, you know what I mean? I am not some character. I am here. I'm just me. You know what I mean?
You are you.
Like,
yeah.
That's all it is, man. Like I'm beyond over, like I'm beyond over expectations, and I'm beyond over so many things. I grew up a pastor's kid, and it's not like I don't believe in those things. I do. Yeah. I am a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. I believe in those things. If anyone ever had a doubt about that, you know what I mean? But man, I got stuff too. Everyone's got stuff. Everyone's got stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and you want to talk to me however you want to talk to me. You want to say, like, come at me with your lens. It's like, I believe this, and that's like that's awesome. That's incredible. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what I think if you want to hear it. That's pretty much,
Cool. Yeah, I've been seeing actually that point of view from more or less the Christian bands actually throughout like the years. Yeah, like
really.
Like
I appreciate
a little bit of like even actually Skillet the last couple of years, a little bits. Disciple, I've been seeing that as well too.
Disciple's amazing. Yeah, I played with them for 4 years.
Exactly.
They're some of my best friends in the world. I love them, and they're a genuine group of people. You know what I mean? Like, Kevin, what you see on stage is what you get. Yeah. That is who that man is, and he is an incredible man, incredible mentor, incredible friend. And like I've learned so much. And I still play with them from time to time. It's not like my main gig anymore. But I'll still fill in every now and then, and it's a good time. So I just don't. It's one of those things where like. So and it bums me out because like I see bands like that and like a band like Disciple who are I think they're so musically, lyrically talented, and especially their performance, it's like it's like, man, I wish, you know what I mean, I wish like they
progress and everything.
I just wish they were bigger, because they deserve it. They deserve to be bigger.
Dude,
I've always felt that way.
Honestly, any band that's in like the Christian rock, Christian metal scene, honestly, I wish got bigger.
Yeah.
Everyone.
There's a lot of bands like
that. There's a lot. Like you guys, Disciple, who else? I'm trying to think. Anyone that was on Uprise that I saw on the Rockstar stage, I'm like,
there's a lot of great bands, dude.
Yeah, everyone.
It's a lot of amazing bands, like everyone's just trying to make a living. It's just hard, man. It's hard out here for a Christian artist. You know what I mean?
I was going to get into that. Like, how's the Christian music scene on trying to get seen lately?
It's not really a thing. That's the hard part. You know what I mean? Like there is, there is. It's just, here's the way I look at it. You're playing metal, heavy music, you're already limiting your audience by doing that. Because there's already a bunch of people that just won't listen to that. Okay. Talk about limiting your audience more by calling yourself a Christian band. Yeah. And if that's your conviction and you really feel like that's what you want to call yourself, that's amazing. Do it. Right. You know what I mean? Do it, live it. I'm scared of that label, personally, because I don't think I can live up to it. So, and it's funny, I've never actually even really told anybody this, like, it's just like, it's like same deal. Like I grew up, a pastor's kid, right? And people would tell me, "Oh, you're gonna be a pastor like your dad." I'm like, absolutely not. That job scares the living daylights out of me. I don't want that responsibility. You know what I mean? I just want, like I want to be as genuine as I can, and I want to be able to just, just kind of be me and, all that stuff. But yeah, it's for as far as like being heard and being seen as a faith-based artist, like unless it's like CCM, like there's not really a big ceiling for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Unfortunately. And it really is a bummer because there's a lot of incredible bands.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of really, really incredible bands, and I've met many of them, and a lot of them are able to kind of break away from it and, find something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some people lean into it and find success there too, and will create a very loyal fan base group of people. Almost like a congregation, It's like, I remember talking to my dad about that, it's like almost like, it's not quite the same, but it's like you're shepherding a flock almost, you know what I mean? And it's like a different, it's a different type of thing. But I think with Christian bands, like, like half the bands I grew up listening to had that label, right? So like, how many of them are still around? Not so many, and it bums me out because I loved all of those bands. You know what I mean? Is it because of the Christian label? Not necessarily. No. Not necessarily. There's a million reasons why bands don't work out. There's a million reasons why, like there's so many things that can happen. At the end of the day, if something doesn't catch on, it just doesn't catch on. But. Yeah, man. Like, I have so many thoughts about this. I could literally, especially after seeing it for as long as I've seen it, like, you meet a lot of amazing people in there too. You meet a lot of people, like mentor figures that are like, wow, like incredible people. A perfect example, my good friend Matt Baird from Spoken. I love that band. Spoken is, I think, one of the best Christian bands that exist today. I think their music is incredible.
Really good.
Yeah, no, and Matt is a very good friend of mine, and he's like a mentor figure to me. He took me out on tour. I played for them back fresh out of college. Oh, wow. Yeah, and I come in every now. I play for them every now and then. Like, but dude, they're just good. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's good Christian band. They're just good. You know what I mean? He's got an amazing voice. Music's amazing. And it's like, that's another band where I'm like, you guys deserve the world, bro. Right? Freaking take it,
They've been a band for years, man.
Spoken's been around a long time.
Yeah.
And Matt Baird is still trucking along, dude. He is the man. He's the man.
He's going strong. Like, those guys just dropped a recent record.
Yeah, it's
recently,
freaking
and
awesome.
I love that. Right? Probably my favorite record
great.
from them. Next to that, what is it, that IX one? The
9.
One? Yeah, 9.
9.
I'm
yeah. Kellen did that one too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like, dude, like, don't get me started. Like, I think so highly of all these bands, and it's like, man, I just want, I wish the world for all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, going back, I guess, into family, I wanted to mention to you about this because you're from Florida. So you guys mentioned about the hurricane. If I'm good to talk about that, like, I guess for Brian's from Florida, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in Florida. How was it like for his family and everything?
It was fine because we were my whole family and that family we were on the East Coast, and thankfully the last 2 hurricanes that came didn't really hit the East Coast that hard.
Okay.
So they were okay. They got like tropical storm force winds. It wasn't too bad.
So I wanted to make sure of that. Okay.
They were perfectly fine.
That's
I got a lot of texts because some people were like, "Wait, don't you live in Florida?" I was like, "No, I don't live in Florida anymore. I haven't lived in Florida for a few years." But thankfully, because it very easily could have been very bad, for them, and it was very bad for a lot of other people, but for them it wasn't. So.
That's good. I just wanted to double check with that.
Yeah,
but how is I guess the community and everything is okay?
Yeah, they're coming together. They're coming together. Going out to different places, especially my dad and his church. My dad has a church, and I consider it my church too, Rise Community Church. Like going out, helping the community, try to rebuild a few things, try to clean up and stuff. Because there's a lot of debris in a lot of areas right now. So, Florida got hit pretty hard. Obviously, we're the first line of defense against hurricanes for the rest of the country, I guess. But yeah, and I guess there's another one coming, from what I heard.
Another one?
So,
no.
Yeah, we're making up for all the years we didn't have any, because there was a lot of years where we didn't have any hurricanes, but because I remember like we'd have like hurricane parties when I was a kid and stuff, like we had like Hurricane Wilma, Hurricane, like Francis, like all these different ones. And none of them were really that bad. That was like a thing. That was like a way of life.
I did not know what hurricane parties are.
Basically, everyone just shows up at a house, and like at the time we'd have shutters, so it was very dark inside the house, right? Mm-hmm. So we just, if the power went out, we just turn on candles, have a little generator outside, hopefully, play some games, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
Okay, I'm like, okay, I don't know. That's
everyone would hug.
We're from Canada. We don't get hurricanes.
Of course not. Yeah.
So all we get is blizzards, and that's
bad. Those suck. I would not know how to deal with that. So.
Yeah. Well, at least you're from Nashville. Doesn't get snow, right?
We get like one good snow a year.
Okay.
It's like predictable one. It's usually in December or November.
Oh, okay. So you'll get it when you probably
last year was a pretty bad one.
Okay.
Comparatively. Because we don't have the infrastructure to deal with it, so.
Oh, you're like Texas then.
Exactly. Like we have like no infrastructure to deal with it, so only the main roads were pretty much the ones that were shoveled and stuff. All like the side roads were not like death to try and drive if you don't know how to drive in snow like me. So because I don't.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't have snow tires then. Yeah.
Nope. No chains, no tires, no nothing. It was
not
a fun time.
I'm sorry.
That's
fine.
fine.
You had that.
Survived.
That's what. Yeah, you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and
good.
like, and my car survived too. So I was like,
that's good. What kind of car did you have?
Nissan Altima, a little sedan.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, wasn't terrible.
That's good.
Going
back into music, are you a workhorse when it comes to studio?
That's a very interesting question because, being in the studio and writing music actually stresses me out a great deal. Not necessarily in a bad way.
Okay.
Not necessarily in a bad way. I put a lot of time into it. I'm clinically OCD, right? Like I'm diagnosed. I deal with it on the daily, right? So stuff like that exercises my OCD in good ways and bad ways, right? So for me, it's very, how do I explain it? Like it's just it can be a very like mentally draining experience. Mm-hmm. But it's worth it because because that's like the creative itch, and then what'll happen is like when I'm done, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to even listen to any music for months now, right? But then a couple months later, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get back in. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. There are some people who like that is their grind and that is what they do, and like on the daily. I'm not like that. No. I love performing. I love writing music too. Yeah. But like if I had to pick one favorite aspect of what it is that I do, I just love performing.
Nice.
Personally,
who's some artists and musicians that are influencing you right now, like the last maybe year or two?
As like a performer?
Performer.
I would say, I would probably say like lately. You know what? I'm just gonna
pull it up.
I'm gonna go through my Spotify right now. I'm listening to a lot of. Come on. Let's see. I'd say I listen to a lot of Silent Planet. Listen to a lot of Avenged. Kind of re-listening to them a lot lately. Alpha Wolf. I just saw them. Dayseeker.
You bugger.
Yeah, dude. I just saw that tour. We got lucky. They were in Atlanta when we had a day off in Atlanta, and we went. Me and some of the other guys on the crew on this tour went.
Boo.
Yeah, it was a great time. Great time.
I'm sad. My touring buddy, actually, who's the media person, I think he's the media person for Dayseeker right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, Rob is literally, he actually helped me quite a bit for tour-wise. When I got my first tour, like, dude helped me get a couple of stuff for gear, told me a couple tips and everything. Like, he wants me to move to, like, the States and everything and go, like, more major city. I'm like, yeah, but financially right now, it's, like, going probably terrible in the States right now, right?
It depends on the area.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Nashville is one of the more affordable places to live right now.
Yeah, you told me somewhat Nashville. I'm like, I don't know if it'd be great to get seen, though, in Nashville because there's so many people.
That's funny because whenever someone is like, I want to do music. Should I move to Nashville? It's like, it depends, Like if you have a gig lined up, and it's very convenient to be there, 100%. Yeah. That's exactly how it was for me.
Okay.
So, like, it was just, I got there and it was very, very easy for me to just sort of start touring from there because it's so central. You know, so that's so that's for some people move there to like pursue country and do that stuff, and that's great too. But for me, the reason I did it was because like it just made sense.
Okay,
so
financially speaking, and also family wise.
Like it just I already had a gig lined up, and I was already traveling to Nashville very often already. So I was like, I'm just going to move here. This doesn't make sense. Driving here from South Florida is a pain in the butt because it's like 13, 14 hours. Like 13, 14 hours. Yeah, it's a long drive. I've done that drive many times. All-nighters, I've done that before. I don't do that anymore, but I used to.
That's good. But, dang. So I did talk to Brian briefly at Uprise about new music. Are you guys working on anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now we're just demoing stuff, but hopefully I think we're trying to get into the studio sometime in December.
Oh, okay.
So we're probably just gonna be working on singles, not like a full length or and kind of build up to an EP again.
Okay.
I think. Got some ideas already, So we're working on it.
That's good.
After this tour, that's probably where my brain's gonna go. That and relaxation after tour being
you need
the
a
holidays.
Break. Yeah. And it'll be
holidays,
Christmas time and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
At that time, get a little break for December and then work back into it in January.
Exactly. Yeah, because I don't know what's happening in January yet. So
I'm excited about the new music. You need to. I always suggest this to bands, and everyone's like, "I never thought of this," or you probably thought of it back in your mind. Acoustic stuff.
We have wanted to mess with that for a while. It's just. What's it called?
Down or something.
Yeah, we just never got around to it. It's very, very possible. We've done acoustic sets, Brian and I. We've done that. And we actually really like how some of the songs come across because not all songs can kind of come. All of our songs can come across acoustically, but we do like how some of them can. And we do think that there are certain ones that would go over really, really well. So we're that's definitely something that we would like to do at some point. So
maybe 2025. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I mean I can't imagine it'd be that hard to do it. So.
No. Yeah, you get like acoustic guitar, get a drum box, or get like some, hire out someone for the studio and everything, and that,
Yeah, I want it to be a vibe for sure. I'd want it to be like
get
a
it
vibe.
set right and everything.
Yeah. I just don't want it to be corny. You know what I mean? Because a lot of bands do, and I think it's a little corny.
Yeah.
Depending on the song, I think it has to really work. Really, really work well.
You want to know my pet peeve when it comes to acoustic stuff? Like I've talked to this. I actually. Back in COVID around this time, if you follow Bad Omens, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So around that time, Noah was live streaming a lot on Twitch. I was very hard into like talking to him and everything. And that's when they were working on the acoustic EP around that time. Gave him advice, and me and him were going back and forth on Twitch and everything about this. I'm a person, when they work, anybody that works on acoustic stuff, I hate hearing breaths in the song.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Because it's just like
hard.
Like you hear acoustics on, and then they go like it's stripped down and everything. And then you hear every breath, every odd time.
Unfortunately, like unless you're cutting that out post, there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Or bring it down a bit. That's all I could really do. Like
in post, if it's live, there's no way around it.
Live, no. Like I meant like in like a post.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, studio wise, yeah.
Yeah, no, I actually agree. Like I don't want to hear a whole lot of breaths. Like over the top. You know, I agree.
Yeah, the one song particularly that got me to hate it was Nickelback, If I Ever Cared.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess they had like an acoustic version of it that is just dude is like has like a lot of like breathing takes.
Breathing,
yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
it can be distracting, especially if you're thinking about it. Like it can be pretty distracting. So for someone like me,
OCD and everything,
I'd be like,
when it comes to that, it's like breath,
yeah, for sure,
breathing.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so touring. Do you have any plans for touring with Amongst the Giants maybe next year?
Hopefully. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. We're always kind of on the lookout for it. We're always having our ears peeled for something, for a good opportunity, you know what I mean? Because we want something that'll make sense for us. So yeah, I'd say like we have some shows planned for sure, but like as far as like full on tours, nothing solid yet, but like.
When's the last time you guys did a full on
a solid tour? Probably last year.
Last year? Okay.
Yeah, probably last year.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. If you could pick any song on the internet that you wish that you got to make, what would it be, Marco?
Oh man, like any song ever?
Yeah, any song ever.
Let me think.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of like a song that would be like all encompassing for me, where that like checks all the boxes for me. I'd probably say I'm leaning towards what's that song? It's by Dayseeker. I'm on the road, losing track of days. You pull away. What's that song that goes?
Is it on the new record?
No.
That's
on Sleep Talk. It's on Sleep Talk.
Oh, it's on Sleep. I've never
Burial Plot.
Dude, Burial Plot is
Burial
such
Plot.
a good
That's
song.
the one. I wish I wrote that song. I think that chorus is genius. You know, I think that whole record's genius. There's not a single song on the record I don't like.
Yeah, that was a good record. But I got introduced to them by Dark Sun. But
seriously? Yeah. Wow.
Well, no, I listened to some songs from Sleep Talk, but like I was not like too keen on Dayseeker around that time. But then they released the that acoustic or stripped back record. That's when I'm like, oh,
interesting.
Dope.
Yeah, I remember hearing Sleep Talk and I was like, holy cow, this is good.
Yeah, and then once they stripped it down, I'm like, okay, this is a band I could get into. And then they dropped Dark Sun. I'm like, this is an amazing band.
Yeah, dude, they're incredible. And I just saw them and they sounded amazing. Yeah, you know,
got to see them a few years ago. I'm like, dang.
I've seen them twice now. Live, their live sound is pretty dang good.
Yeah,
you know, so
yeah,
man.
Yeah, cool. What's some artists that you hope to work with in the future?
Oh, all of them. I'd say, I mean, there's some bands that I want to cross off my touring bucket list for sure. Yeah. August Burns Red is one of them for sure. Love to tour. Everyone says Slipknot. Obviously, Slipknot would be great. Yeah. Disturbed is a big one. Yeah, I mean, Bring Me the Horizon would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
You know, like in any capacity, whether it's my band or I'm playing for some other band. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's one of those things that, like, there's things I want to cross off my list.
You know, tour bucket list. Yeah, you guys were on my bucket list to see live, and I'm
awesome,
like, no way,
I love that.
It, so cool.
I love that, man. I really appreciate that. You know, whenever someone gives, you know, Giants some love, that always makes me happy because it's like it's very affirming. Yeah, because we do pour a lot of love into it. You know, like it's just hard because a lot of my work consists of playing for other people. You know, so it's like. People are like, well, what about Giants? I'm like, Giants is great. I love it. It's like, that's like my love, you know, but I got to survive, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, you know? It's touring. That's the thing. You're a tour musician. You're a musician in general. It's hard out. Hard out here.
But I'm always you rest assured, like, Giants will never die. Like, it'll never stop. You know,
that's a good reinsurance here.
It'll never it'll never die. It'll always be there as long as me and Brian are alive. It will exist.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? It will exist in some capacity.
That's
it's
good.
like we're never gonna like call it quits. It's just one of those things where like, sometimes I might take the back burner on sometimes, and then what I'm hoping for at some point is that it becomes the main main focus, you know, and it does everything, you know, and I won't have to worry about anything else. That's what I would love,
right?
You know what I mean? So.
How would you think to go about that?
Dude, there's breaking a band, dude. Do you have a year to talk about it? Like it's like breaking a band. There's so many things that need to go right. You know, the stars need to align. You have to be. I was about to say you have to be good, but that's not always true. Unfortunately, that's a personal opinion, you know.
You guys are good.
I think we are, yeah. But what I mean is, like, a lot of the times, like, bands that kind of break through, I'm like, really, this band? Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, there's.
You know what I mean?
I've heard some musicians. I'm like, how did you guys get big?
How did you get there? Yeah. There's some that I can say, I can think of, not say, something I can think of, like, off the top of my head, you know. But it's like they got something. They did something right. You know what I mean? So it's obviously they're doing something for somebody. You know, so, what I would love is for us to I just want us to get like a real shot. You know what I mean? Like I want us to be in front of the right people. You know what I mean? And let the people hear it and decide for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want. It's like, dude, put us in front of these people, and if they don't love us at the end of it, I will quit. You know what I mean? No, dude, I care about it, man. I care. It's just like, no, dude, we want to throw what we can at it. I want it to be good, solid, professional, and relatable and fun. So, like, I want, you know, it's like, put us in front. It's like, I know, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I know we could do it. I know we could. You know, I know we could. It's just a matter of, like, getting that opportunity, you know? So
cool. What was your first concert that you went to?
Oh, man. Probably some local church gig when I was, like, a kid, you know, that I saw. But the first one I probably remember going to was probably Casting Crowns when I was, like, 6 or 7.
Wow, you started early. I was like late.
Yeah,
late
yeah.
boomer.
My parents brought me. I was just really young.
Dude, I got chipped as a kid. Like my family's like, yeah, no. I was supposed to go to Big Time Rush when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's awesome.
But then they got canceled, and then later down the road, R5, if you know R5, they were like Ross Lynch's Disney Channel band back in the day. When he had, okay, you don't know that.
Yeah. I think I did. Ross
Lynch. You know, like Austin and Ally.
Yeah.
So he had a band with his brother and sisters at the time, and then they were touring and everything, and that's when my first actual show was. But didn't get to see Big Time Rush, man. Didn't get to see Big Time Rush. I'm sad. It's fun.
Sick.
Yeah. So I guess streaming's say the best way to get your music heard. You think?
Yes, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, there's not a whole lot of other ways people consume music nowadays other than streaming. So you definitely need it. You know, you're not going to make hardly anything on it. That's okay. I remember I got my last royalty check and I laughed. You know what I mean? And it's not like we don't have nothing.
That's
no
good.
Streams, like, you know, but I mean, like, numbers as far as like the streams we have. They're actually, for a band of our size, I'm pretty proud of it, you know. But that amount is like the amount you get from it is like,
how bad was that
nothing.
check?
Huh?
How bad was that check?
Pretty bad. It was pretty terrible,
dude.
I got it for the whole year.
I heard from Joey last time. I had him on the podcast as well. He told
me West.
Yep.
Oh heck yeah, dude.
I had him on digital form and everything, but he told me he got a check back from Disciple back in the day or whatever. It was 2 cents.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
So I don't know if it was.
I got a check for everything that I've been a part of, as far as streaming, for the whole year. $30, $40.
Yeah, I've seen checks like that before. Yeah.
It's there's worse.
There's worse.
But that's for the whole year.
Okay,
so,
looking at that, then yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I looked at it, I was like, oh, this will get me a nice, you know, maybe some groceries once.
A good McDonald's meal.
Exactly, you know. Listen, any amount is great, but like compare it to like how it used to be, you know what I mean? Like you have a hit song, you know, and you make a lot of money through whatever avenues, but now with streaming, it's a fraction of a cent per stream, you know. So it's like it's a tiny fraction of a cent, you know. So you can make you can have like millions and millions of streams and not make anything, you know, because like you got to think about how it's distributed too. Because unless you own everything, you know, there are cuts, you know what I mean, that go to the producer, that go to the label, that go to this, that, you know what I mean. So it's the like
band, yeah,
exactly. So at the end of the day, it's all, you know.
Yeah. What do you do when you're off time? When you're not doing music?
I'm a bit of a homebody because I do a lot of socializing on tour. So like, I'm not like, you know, like when I'm at home, I like going to the gym, you know, having my days, playing with my cats, my bunny, hanging out with my wife. You know, like I'll go to shows if there's a show around, you know. It's enjoy some food that I like, you know, like not a whole lot. I just try to I really try to just kind of take in that
taking
rest.
in the moments.
Yeah, that I can. I love taking vacations. I am a vacationer. It doesn't happen very often anymore. I try to fly, you know, Ellie out as often as I can, but those aren't really vacations. Those are really sort of, you know,
getaway-ish.
It's like it's like work vacation kind of situation, you know. It's still great. You get to you still get to travel and see cool places, you know. But for the most part, it's like pretty much just, like when I'm at home, I just try to turn my brain off a little bit, just try to get into a little bit of a healthier routine than when I'm on tour, you know.
Nice. If you could have your listeners and fans remember one thing about yourself, Marco. What do you
about me?
Yeah, about you. What do you want them to remember you by?
I want them to remember, like, dude, I just want to be my authentic, genuine self with all of you.
All straight dead into
with
the camera.
All 5 of you.
Let's go.
Who are going to listen? All 5 of you who are going to listen to this and know who I am, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who listen to this and don't know who I am. You know,
which is a good thing, honestly. Get people to see the band and everything, see who you are.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I just what I really care about is just like if you take away anything, it's just like, dude, like just try your best. Don't take yourself too seriously, you know. Another thing though, like something that is pretty close to my heart, mental health is a pretty close thing to my heart. I know it's kind of a trendy thing to say right now, you know, but I grew up I'm the son of 2 people who worked in the psych field, you know. If you can take anything away from me, my music, whatever it is, it's just, dude, things might seem bleak sometimes. Things might be dark. Lord knows that I've been there. But, dude, I promise you there is always a way out. You know, there's always, and there's help for you, you know? So I had to seek it myself, you know? Like if I told people some of the things that I deal with and some of the things that, you know, that go on in my head, like it would be appalling for some people, I'm sure, you know? And that's okay. So to pretty much just put it in a nutshell, just be authentic. Don't try to be something that you're not, you know. That's pretty much what I'd want to leave you with.
What's the best piece of advice you ever gotten while doing music?
Don't be a jerk. I'm not even joking. That is the best probably piece of advice for anybody wanting to even have some kind of career in entertainment or music. Be kind. You know, people remember their interactions with you. You know what I mean? They'll remember you on your worst day. You know, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect. I'm not saying any of those things, you know. You know, Lord knows I haven't been, but just do your best to be kind and give people the time of day, because at the end of the day, those people that are coming to see you at a show are coming to, you know, be entertained, see you, you know, and you would be out of a job if it wasn't for them. So always remember that.
Yeah. If you could talk to yourself from a year from now, what would you want to tell yourself, Marco?
A year from now?
Yeah, a year from now.
Hurry up and get your Roth IRA set up, because it's been a long time.
Explain to me about that.
It's just like my investment stuff. Investment stuff. If I haven't already done it a year from now, I'll be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? But yeah, no, nice. That's a joke. But you know,
nice. That's a good joke. I like that. Cool. Do you feel you made an impact at someone at some point for the music?
Gosh, I hope so.
Yeah,
you know, I hope so. I've heard some stories. You know, like people tell me genuine stories about like, man, I was dealing with this. There's a song we have called "Medicated." You know, like that. I think is a very honest song for me. And people talk to me about that one, and they're like, yeah, man, I deal with this, you know, like I can relate to this. I know how this is. I'm like, yeah, man, it's rough, you know, living life like that. It's hard, you know. People talk about, talk about being on medicine. They don't always talk about like a lot of the side effects, you know, that you get from being on it. So, especially like psychoactive stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I would hope that, you know, it would help someone. That's at the end of the day what I kind of care about the most.
Yeah, I feel like you've impacted at least one person.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Mm-hmm.
Really hope so. Describe yourself with one word. What would it be?
One word?
One word, Marco.
Cringe. I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. I don't know, bro. I'll tell you what I would want it to be.
Okay.
Which is genuine.
But
I think cringe is a more accurate.
Why cringe though?
So many reasons. So many reasons. You know?
I need at least some kind of
Well, I mean, cringe. I don't know, dude. It's like Yeah.
There we go.
There you go, you know. I don't know, man. I think some of my humor is pretty cringe.
It's good humor.
It's okay. No, I don't know if it's good. You know, like some people like it, some people don't. You know, but yeah. I would just have to say probably, you know, my humor, my I guess it's cool to be a nerd now, so I can't really say that. You know, everyone loves comic books and everyone loves, you know, that stuff. So that's not really cringy. I think that's just normal, cool. You know, because I am very much a superhero enthusiast, as you can tell by my Batman tattoo. Batman. You know, so but yeah.
Yeah, cool. Shout out yourself. Shout out to the camera. What do you want the people to know about you, Marco?
So my name is Marco. I am singer, guitar player for Amongst the Giants. I'm currently on tour playing bass and singing backups for Kurt Deimer on tour with Sebastian Bach. We are playing tonight. Where are we playing tonight? Where are we playing tonight?
Serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my gosh, we're in Winnipeg. You're playing.
Well, I know we're in Winnipeg. No, I know we're in Winnipeg. I'm talking about the actual venue.
Okay,
yeah, the Exchange Event Center. Yeah, no, I knew we were in Winnipeg. That's funny though. It'd be hilarious if I didn't. Right?
We're just talking for an hour, and we're like, oh, we're in
Where
a
am
place.
By the way, where am I?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been there, bro. I promise. You know, I've definitely been there. But no, I know I'm in Winnipeg.
Okay.
Yeah, on tour. Check out my band Amongst the Giants. We have our EP out, Desolate Minds, and hopefully we'll get some music out to you soon.
Cool. Yeah. Go check out Marco if he's playing in your city. Go check him out. Probably this will come out probably in the next week or two.
Sweet.
And then that's
dope.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It was a pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.